Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, with Peter Deeb. He is the chairman and founder of Hampton Securities. Peter, just one more question about the tariffs, perhaps. Obviously, one of the things that came out of the G7 discussions before they were all cut short by the war, and I do want to talk about the war in the Middle East a little bit, but was this idea that within 30 days, Canada and the U.S. would work towards at least a framework for a deal. Do you think that's realistic? And is that the right strategy for Canada? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that's the strategy that was imposed upon them by the U.S. and they're going to have to work towards that. And we're obviously at a disadvantage by size and dealing with a much bigger trade partner. But I think President Trump has made it clear he doesn't want this to drag on for years and years. So to do it in 30-day windows and extend if we're making progress, if we're not making progress, revert back to the tariff at hand. It's probably the right way to do it to get everybody focused. How Canada emerges from this is yet to be seen. That's going to be based on how this government responds to it and what kind of innovation they can use to get us a good deal. But it's very much a wait and see. There's no guarantee to this outcome. I think we're going to be 5 to 10% worse off at the end of the day, but it's probably within the margin of what we can handle.
Okay, well, we'll definitely have you back on once there's something presented publicly to the Canadian public, because we're not certainly at that stage yet. I wanted to raise the war with Israel and Iran. I know you're an expert in the region. What are your thoughts, and what do you think the Saudis are thinking, or the Emiratis thinking, etc.?
I think what we're getting from the news is very much the tip of the iceberg as to what's actually going on in the region. This is a conflict that is defining itself moving forward. I mean, there's obviously big expectations on all sides as to what the outcomes are going to be. Unfortunately, expectations are all different. So we're in early days. Oil prices seem to be rising, so there's expectation of a major conflict coming, a major attack of some sort. So we'll wait to see where that goes. It's going to be a tough one for the Americans to stand out and watch from the sidelines. So I think they're ultimately going to get dragged in. But we're hoping for an early resolution to all of this. The last thing the economy needs globally and mankind needs is another conflict. We've got enough wars going on right now, Tony.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. What do you think the Saudis are thinking?
Look, they're being very quiet about all of this. I think they're going to be the first one to embrace the winner, whoever it is in the end of the day. They're making a 10% premium on oil right now, so they're also being supportive of the American initiatives. You have American bases in Saudi, in Qatar, in those places, and there's been no restrictions on them for doing what they want to do. So it seems like everybody is behind the scenes focused and in agreement on bringing an end to a perceived nuclear threat, and they've sold everybody on that's the plan. So we'll see where it goes.
And that's an important point. That it's not only Israel that is threatened by a nuclear armed Iran, but Saudi Arabia would feel the threat just the same, wouldn't they?
Absolutely, they've already made it clear that if Iran ever got a nuclear weapon, they would demand one from the West just to counter the risk.
That's right. That's right. So, is your assessment that this will be a long conflict or a short conflict in the end?
Yeah, no, I think it gets wrapped up very quickly here, and maybe I'm an outlier in that, but it's in no one's interest to drag this on at this point. Every day, the Iranians are losing ground, and the regime is running the risk of being ousted. So they have an incentive to resolve this. The Israelis seem very determined not to let up pressure. And President Trump has given no sign of willingness to back down. He's basically said that negotiations are over. It's time to clean up the mess.
Yeah.
So I think by the end of the summer, I would imagine we have a whole new landscape over there.
It's incredible. The Middle East, such a changed landscape since October 7th. Really, it's hard to even imagine the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's changed greatly. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. I think, Peter, we're going to leave it at that. Listen, great to have you on the program once again. Lots always to talk about, and I'd love to have you back because things change rapidly in today's world. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.